Road trips, long stretches of highway, empty gas stations, the smell of asphalt after rain. They should feel exciting, a sense of freedom, a promise of adventure. But there's another side to the road, a side travelers don't like to talk about, a side filled with strange encounters, missing time, and horrors that linger in the shadows just beyond your headlights. Tonight, on Haunting Our 666, we bring you 5 road trip horror stories that will make you think twice. Before your next midnight drive, buckle your seatbelt. The road ahead is dark, and not everyone makes it back. Story 1. The Hitchhiker Who Knew My. Named Jake and Anna were young, reckless, and in love. After a late-night concert, they chose the long, scenic route home through the desert highways of Arizona. The road stretched out forever, black asphalt bordered by endless sand and scrub. The first time they saw him, Jake barely noticed a man standing by the roadside, hands at his sides, completely motionless. His clothes were old, faded, maybe a work shirt and jeans. But what unnerved Anna was his head. It turned slowly, deliberately, to follow them as they passed. They laughed nervously. Probably just some drifter, Jake said. But Anna's voice was tight. Why was he staring like that? 10 miles later, Jake slammed on the brakes. His heart dropped. The man was there again. Same pose, same stare. That's impossible, Anna whispered. We didn't pass anyone. Jake sped up. He wanted distance. Anything to shake the feeling of being watched. But every few miles, around every bend, there he was, silent, still, waiting. Finally, Jake pulled into a gas station. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as he rushed inside to ask the clerk if anyone else had seen the man. The clerk gave him a confused look. No one's been out there all night. You're the only car I've seen. Relieved, Jake returned to the car, but his relief froze in his throat. The backseat door was cracked open, and written in the fog on the inside window was Anna's name. Story 2. The empty motel room. David, Chris, and Melissa were on a cross-country road trip. After 14 hours of driving, exhaustion hit, and they pulled into a roadside motel in Nevada. The neon sign flickered. Vacancy. The clerk was strange. His skin looked waxy under the yellow lights, and he never blinked as he handed them the key to room 6. His voice was flat. Rehearsed, enjoy your stay. The room smelled of mildew and stale air, but they were too tired to care. They collapsed into bed. At 3 a.m., Melissa woke to the sound of whispering, soft, rhythmic, coming from the bathroom. She shook David awake. He heard it too. Chris, irritated, stomped into the bathroom and yanked open the shower curtain. Nothing, just cracked tiles and a dripping faucet. But the whispering didn't stop. It was coming from behind the walls. Panicked, they decided to leave. But when they returned the key, the front desk was empty. Only a dust-covered sign remained, closed since 1995. Shaking, they drove off. Later that night, Melissa searched online. Her hands trembled as she read the article. The motel had burned to the ground 20 years earlier. Every guest inside had died. Story 3. The truck that wouldn't let us go. Emily and Ryan were siblings. Road tripping through the Midwest, the highway was flat, surrounded by cornfields stretching to the horizon. It was after midnight when Emily noticed a truck behind them. No headlights, just a dark outline. Looming in the rearview mirror, Ryan slowed. The truck slowed. He sped up. The truck sped up. The silhouette stuck to them for miles. Finally, they pulled into a rest stop. The lot was empty except for flickering lampposts. They sat in silence, hoping the truck would pass. Minutes later, headlights appeared at the entrance. The truck, panic surged. They jumped back on the highway, flooring the gas. 90 miles per hour, the truck still behind them, impossibly close. Then suddenly, it was gone. 2 weeks later, Emily scrolled the news. Her blood ran cold. A photo of the same truck, same dented grille, same rusted paint, in a headline. Fatal crash, driver of semi killed 2 years ago. The date was clear. The truck that chased them had been destroyed long before they ever hit the road. Story 4. Voices on the CB radio. Tom, a veteran trucker, loved the CB radio. It kept him company during lonely mountain drives. But one night in the Rockies, his radio picked up a strange frequency. Two men's voices talking about weather. At first, harmless. But then Tom froze. Wide rig. License plate ending 666. He's alone tonight. Tom's rig. His plate. His route. The voices grew distorted, laughing, repeating his name. His full name. Tom ripped the radio out of the socket. Silence. But as he passed under a dark bridge, the dead radio crackled back to life. Whisper. Speed 0.85. Pitch minus to pull over. Tom, we're right behind you. He glanced in his mirrors. Only darkness. But for the rest of the night, no matter how far he drove, he swore he saw the faint headlights just far enough back to never catch. Story 5. The wrong turn in the woods. Samantha and 3 friends were relying on GPS during a cross-country trip. At 2 a.m., it led them down a narrow dirt road. The deeper they drove, the denser the trees became. Their headlights struggled against the dark canopy. Finally, the road ended at a rotting wooden sign. Turn back now. They laughed nervously, turned the car around. But something was wrong. The path back wasn't the same. The trees seemed closer, thicker. Then, a figure appeared in the headlights, a woman in white, barefoot, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. She didn't move, didn't blink. The car stalled. All four screamed as she stepped closer, whispering words they couldn't understand. Suddenly, the headlights flickered, and they were back on the highway, the road behind them gone. Later, they searched maps. The GPS never showed that road again. Locals would only say one thing. People who take that turn don't always come back. Outrow, and that was 5 road trip horror stories. The open road isn't always empty. Sometimes it remembers. Sometimes it follows you home. If you enjoyed these stories, subscribe to Haunting Our 666. More true horror is waiting just beyond the headlights.